With our salutations to Thakur Mahan Swamiji and our pranams to Vivek Maharaj, we are starting our class on lectures from Colombo to Almora by Swami Vivekananda. We are continuing with the mission of the Vedanta from page 98, 33rd reprint, June 2011. Therefore, the world is waiting for this grand idea of universal toleration. It will be a great acquisition to civilization. Nay, no civilization can long exist unless this idea enters into it. No civilization can grow unless fanaticism, bloodshed, and brutality stop. No civilization can begin to lift up its head until we look charitably upon one another, and the first step towards that much needed charity is to look charitably and kindly upon the religious convictions of others. Nay, more, to understand that not only should we be charitable, but positively helpful to each other, however different our religious ideas and convictions may be. And that is exactly what we do in India, as I have just related to you. It is here in India that Hindus have built and are still building churches for Christians and mosques for Mohammedans. That is the thing to do. In spite of their hatred, in spite of their brutality, in spite of their cruelty, in spite of their tyranny, and in spite of the vile language they are given to uttering, we will and must go on building churches for Christians and mosques for the Mohammedans until we conquer through love, until we have demonstrated to the world that love alone is the fittest thing to survive and not hatred, that it is gentleness that has the strength to live on and to fructify, and not mere brutality and physical force.
Yeah. What is your understanding from this whole para?
So here, universal toleration, idea of universal toleration is spoken. And next is looking charitably upon one another and be kind to other religious practices. And we should try to conquer through love. And for that, we can help others build churches and mosques despite their brutality and cruelty towards us.
Yeah. Any other? Any others? One would like to add anything? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, though Swami uses the word universal toleration, the word, but actually speaking universal acceptance. When you say universal toleration, you tolerate people because they are like small. We tolerate our children when they do mischievous nature. Oh, bacha chale. Because he's a just boy, girl, or a young child, he will do all these things. But once he once he become mature, he becomes all right. So in the toleration, that's what Semitic religions nowadays they speak. Especially Christians, they speak that we try to tolerate others. We should tolerate others. So that is what the Semitic religions nowadays, some of them are speaking at least. So toleration is what? Out of compassion or just out of some good feeling, just we have left it. They are never equal to us, but still we have allowed them to live. That is the notion comes when you say universal toleration. But universal acceptance means we accept as they are. Because every path, every religion is a path to reach the God. So we believe in universal acceptance. Though Swami uses the word universal toleration at the beginning, but he discusses the ideas based on the universal acceptance. And Swami is telling two, three important points. If there is a fanaticism, brutality, and bloodshed and all, at given point of time, we can grow. We may grow in large number, but in the long run, we cannot survive. That's what happened in the demons. In the Puranas, if you read, Indra lost his kingdom, all the devatas were pushed, they were dethroned, and the demons, whichever like Shumbha, Nishumbha, for example, Devi Bhagavata, we read. So they occupied all the three worlds we speak. But at some point of time, they did all atrocities and people had to suffer, etc. But finally, Mother came and killed all of them, and that's how the entire what do you say community or their entire race was nullified. The same thing we can see here. Though I'm very carefully I'm speaking this, so I mean, please, you have to be a bit careful. Sometimes, especially in Indians and Hindus, this is becoming more nowadays discussion. We are all open, we are all good, fine, but others are not. There's a rampant conversion from Christianity point of view and from the Islam. They shattered our temples, they converted us, and our ladies were very badly handled, were handled, are handled, will be handled, all these things. So at this given point of time, what should we do? Being Hindus, we are the only people we say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. All race is one, we are all one family, belong to one family, but others are not. So if that is the case, what should be done? So this Swamiji's, this type of sentences are often quoted, and it creates a lot of controversies among Hindus or from it belong to other religions also. Here we have to be a bit careful and we have to be very clear. Through love, through unselfish love, one can win the hearts of others. However, I say, no doubt, but all of us, we are not ready, or rather, we are not eligible to show. We may try, we make an attempt, no doubt, but we cannot really show that unselfish, universal love. Only very great people of man of character can show. This is the first problem which comes. Many times we quote Buddha, many times we quote Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, and we should try to be like that, no doubt. But where we fail, we try to do it, but still we are not able to change the people, other side of the people. Why? Because we are not able to manifest that unselfish love to that great extent. That is the reason this problem comes. Now, even Swamiji, he showed his universal love. If you see in the western part of the world, when he came to America, there are a number of people helped him, but at the same time, there were also a number of people who created troubles for him. They did try to do character assassination. They tried to poison and kill him, and they did spread the rumors about him, and all these things happened. So, what does it mean? So, how much ever we do, with all due respect, with love and other things, these problems will come from the weak-minded people. So only by enabling ourselves fit enough, this is the only way to handle this. This is the first point. And the second is, individual level, okay, but when it becomes to country level, somewhere we have to take, if not bite, we should hiss. That also has to be told. Swamiji tells elsewhere very clearly, Shastra and Shastra both should go hand in hand. We should be very, well trained and well grounded in our religion, and we should not trouble others. We should help others, but at the same time, if someone comes and troubles others, we should also teach them a lesson. But at the same time, this is the solution, possible solution. Loving each other, making them to understand, and trying to live. Coexisting with everyone is the only way, is the only solution from the spiritual point of view or from the highest truth point of view. But whether we'll be able to manage it, whether we'll be able to implement is very, debatable, and also it can be a bit questionable also. Yeah.
Mr. Chatterjee has some questions.
Not the question, but the thing is, the question on universal acceptance. Maharaj, if we survive, then only the question I can accept if I survive. If I don't survive in the first place, where is the question of acceptance comes? So the survival is first, then applying the principle.
Yes, Pranam, yes, you rightly said. That's the reason I told. Though it is the only solution, but it is debatable and whether is it possible or not. That is a big question is there always, and that's where I say first and foremost our Hindus has to learn the religion, their own religion properly, and that has to be taught to their successive generations. This is where Hindu parents are failing. I'm sorry to say that we don't teach our children. I am devotee, I am trying to read Upanishads, I am trying to read gospel and all, but how many of our children they are trying to? Hardly. But when it comes to other religion, maybe Sikh or Islam and Christianity, well, there are people there also. I don't say no, but at least from Indian context, it is much more they are better in their religious pursuits and their understanding compared to our Hindus. In the name of secularism, in the name of freedom or whatever. So the first and foremost is our Hindus are not grounding their own children, the successive generations in their culture, in their religion, in their philosophy. This is the one of the biggest mistake we have got, the biggest problem as the first point. Second thing is, unfortunately, the politics, because for whatever the reasons, they are also not doing the right thing. They're not doing the right thing sometimes. That's what I also feel. Second thing is that. And third thing is, I told you very clearly, hiss but not bite. So to protect ourselves, somewhere we have to show some rajas, somewhere some places we have to show restraint, some places we should show our strength, no doubt. Otherwise, it is very difficult to survive. So this has to be carefully handled, all these things, no doubt. It is not that just I will, whether you will kill me or whatever, but I will love. I will help you, I will love you, I will help you to build your house. That is not the only way, yes. But this is the only solution at the highest point of view, actually. But as a society, whether we'll be able to implement it or not is a debatable. And if you see, otherwise there is no, and from the other part, if you see, even the other point of view, I mean, say for an example, I'm not judgmental, the Islam, it is spreading, no doubt. Except few countries, very few countries, no country is peaceful. They are fighting among themselves. They have been pushed towards poverty because of their whatever their things and all. So now whether should I say that it is because of religion or because of ABC or whatever. So one side they're spreading no doubt, but at the same time among themselves they're not happy actually, and they're not able to understand this. Because unnecessary fanatism and unnecessary dogmatism is spoiled their views. That's what I feel personally. And if you see in the medieval ages, 10, 11, 12th centuries possibly, though they spread themselves, no doubt in the Europe, but it was much better. And the Europe, whatever they got scientific development, it was because of the Middle East. Because they were also in contact with Asia and all, and their own culture also helped them, no doubt. So they were able to contribute for the scientific development of the Europe, actually, Middle East. If you see the history of the Middle East in the olden days. But I think unnecessary fanatism and whatever things have come and spoiled them. I don't say no. Yeah.
Yes. The other great idea that the world wants from us today, the thinking part of Europe, nay, the whole world, more perhaps the lower classes than the higher, more the masses than the cultured, more the ignorant than the educated, more the weak than the strong, is that eternal grand idea of the spiritual oneness of the whole universe. I need not tell you today, men from Madras University, how the modern researches of the West have demonstrated through physical means the oneness and the solidarity of the whole universe. How, physically speaking, you and I, the sun, moon, and the stars are but little waves or wavelets in the midst of an infinite ocean of matter. How Indian psychology demonstrated ages ago that similarly both body and mind are but mere names or little wavelets in the ocean of matter, the Shamashti, and how, going one step further, it is also shown in the Vedanta that behind that idea of the unity of the whole show, the real soul is one. There is but one soul, Throughout the universe, all is but one existence. This great idea of the real and basic solidarity of the whole universe has frightened many, even in this country. It even now finds sometimes more opponents than adherents. I tell you, nevertheless, that it is the one great life giving idea which the world wants from us today, and which the mute masses of India want for their uplifting, for none can regenerate this land of ours without the practical application and effective operation of this ideal of the oneness of things. Here also the idea of spiritual oneness of the whole universe is uh, spoken, and Swamiji is telling that this idea should be spread to the whole world, especially to the masses, because this is the only thing that can uplift the masses. And he also mentioned that scientists have that physical oneness is proved by the science, and the differences are only in the name and form, but as matter all are one. So we have to extend it to the idea of unity of soul, which is spoken in Advaita, one existence.
Yeah, anyone wants to add any point?
I find Maharaj, this is actually the conception of the Advaita Vedanta has been introduced in this particular para, where he has actually explained he has even gone to the stars, sun, moon, and somewhere it is there. So the soul is all one, but it's everything is the expression of Satchidanand Brahma. So that particular thing has come in this idea. And the thing is, another thing which is very firmly he has told, that word called the mute masses of the India. That is a very emphatic statement that what Indians we are and what are our characters. Normally we are mute, and unless we are actually very strongly, we do not know how to come out and things are project our
No,
ideas.
see, that's what I say always. We should not explain here. We should tell things in very gist form so that people can remember. Again and again, I'm telling all of you. We pick up the words from the paras and we try to tell. I'm sorry for this. So here, if you ask me simply, Swamiji is giving a base for spiritual humanism. Spiritual humanism, that's all. In the whole para is what spiritual humanism. If you see the humanistic philosophy, which started from the Western world, so human is the epitome, human is the center of the creation. Earlier, God was the center of creation. Then the humanistic philosophy when came, there human became the center of the creation. Okay, now, so Vedanta, the spiritual Vedanta can be the best base for humanism, that is called spiritual humanism or practical Vedanta. We are all one, we are all human beings, we should love each other, we should help each other, we should serve each other. Why? Because we are all fellow human beings. That is what the science or the Western philosophy is saying. Now Swami is saying that Advaita Vedanta can be the best base for the humanism or humanistic philosophy. How? Because we are all what? We are all one. We are all the self, indestructible self or Atman or Brahman. And that even the present day modern researchers from Madras University have showed from that all the matter is all from the one source. So similarly, our Indian sages have showed from the mind point of view also. Why? Because we are all connected to the one mind, cosmic mind called Hiranyagarbha. And our Upanishad has called all our physical bodies are connected to the one cosmic thing, which is called Virat. So now similarly, all of us, we are connected to that one self. It is only manifestations in the different mediums, but we are all only one self. So why I should love each other? Why I should serve each other? Rather, I should help the people, oppressed and depressed classes, especially. We should lift them. Why? Because we are all one. We are all one is what has been told by Vedanta. So Swamiji is giving spiritual humanism, the idea for spiritual humanism, or rather how the Vedanta should be put into practice, where all our social evils can be eradicated. If you want me to say this whole thing in one, just in a sentence or a word, spiritual humanism. Yeah. I mean, this is what I'm expecting. I mean, from all of us, all of you. Like in a one sentence or in a maximum two sentences, you have to put that everything in the what do you say, in the gist form. Then if you make a notes and if you make say this whole lecture will be 10 lines or 15 lines, when you read them, 2-3 times you read a lecture and you will read your points, then you'll be able to connect and you'll be able to recall more or less the entire lecture. This is what active reading. This is what one of the active reading. Yeah, I mean, again, people might not agree with me, but this is what my understanding. Yeah. Yes, Chandrani has gone to deep thinking. I don't know.
Huh? The rational
Is it, I
waste
mean,
is
you agree?
Yes, agree. Definitely agree, but not able to do it always.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
The rational West is earnestly bent upon seeking out the rationality, the raison d'etre of all its philosophy and its ethics. And you all know well that ethics cannot be derived from the mere sanction of any personage, however great and divine he may have been. Such an explanation of the authority of ethics appeals no more to the highest of the world's thinkers. They want something more than human sanction for ethical and moral codes to be binding. They want some eternal principle of truth as the sanction of ethics. And where is that eternal sanction to be found except in the only infinite reality that exists in you and in me and in all, in the self, in the soul? The infinite oneness of the soul is the eternal sanction of all morality that you and I are not only brothers. Every literature voicing man's struggle towards freedom has preached that for you, but that you and I are really one. This is the dictate of Indian philosophy. This oneness is the rationale of all ethics and all spirituality. Europe wants it today just as much as our downtrodden masses do. And this great principle is even now unconsciously forming the basis of all the latest political and social aspirations that are coming up in England, in Germany, in France, and in America. And mark it, my friend, that in all and through all the literature voicing man's struggle towards freedom, towards universal freedom, again and again you find the Indian Vedantic ideals coming out prominently. In some cases, the writers do not know the source of their inspiration. In some cases, they try to appear very original, and a few there are bold and dreadful enough to mention the source and acknowledge their indebtedness to it.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Westerners try to find the reasoning and rationality behind everything, even behind philosophy and ethics. But ethics should come from universal principle and not from the sanction of any particular individual. And this oneness is the crux of Indian philosophy. Unconsciously, this actually forms the basis of Western all Western political, social, even literary aspirations and the struggle for freedom.
Mhm.
This is what I know.
In one sentence, I can say the superiority of Indian Vedantic ideals have been expressed here. That's all.
As we can say, true ethics and morality, they come from the eternal oneness of the soul. That is the same thing I am telling from the
Yes.
Vedanta.
How? How? Yes. But how?
Because it is based on the universal principle.
That is all fine. Okay, we are all one. We are all that one because that one is what self. We are all self, fine. But self and ethics, how is it linked here?
Because of the rhythm.
There's the cosmic law. Okay.
So the cosmic law itself tells us to be that means ethical, because it is
So who has made this cosmic law then?
that all the Brahman, Atman.
That's what Swami is saying, that that is not, that should not be the case. Exactly, that's what Swami is saying, that in the first line of the para. So Swami is speaking ontology aspect of the ethics.
We will expect.
Swami is speaking about ontology part of the ethics. What do I mean ethics? Now I have to give little explanation. I know that. So why should I be ethical? Or should I be ethical first and foremost? Keeping all the things aside, just I am alone. So should I be ethical or not? The first question comes. All of us, we understand, we agree. If you have to have a sound society, enlightened society, or sound society, sound country, we need ethics, we need morality. If there is no ethics and morality, the country will go into chaos. For example, India is such a rich country, but still in many things we have developed now, no doubt, but still we are lagging. Why? We all know that one of the biggest problems is what? Corruption. So it means what? Lack of ethics and morality. So any country when it can be safe, when we are ethical and moral. Okay, fine. Now, why should I be ethical? The first and foremost comes for a common person or at the base level, instinct level. Oh, if I am not ethical or moral, I will be punished. If I don't follow the traffic rules, I will be punished by putting fine or by putting some other rules, regulations by the traffic inspector or whatever. So if I don't follow the ethics and morality, I may be put under bars. I may be summoned by the court. So the instinctive level is what? Because of the fear of rules and regulations, we tend to be ethical and moral. If not, then it's a free world, means then I don't mind to be chaotic. The first level. Second level is, oh, if I'm not ethical or moral, people will mind. People will look at me down. So because of the recognition from the world or the society in and around me, I try to be moral. If you see, this is what the step-by-step process actually happens. That's how evolution of the person happens. Second. Third is God-fearing. If I am not ethical or moral, I may go to the hell. I may be punished by the God. I may be punished by my karma phala. So, because of God-fearing person, why this heaven and hell has been told in our mythologies so much, and especially in some of the Puranas, they say if you do mistake, you will go to the hell, the Yamadutas will take you, and they will put you in the boiling oil, they will make you to sleep or walk on thorns or glass pieces or nails and all they speak. So, only to make us fear so that we will not do mistake actually. So God-fearing people, because of fearing God, are fearing the punishment which can happen in the above worlds or here. So I try to be moral. This is what our step-by-step process. The fourth is Swamiji's unique contribution here is ontological aspect of ethics. Swamiji speaking. Why should I be moral? Because If I am moral, then only I will be nearer to myself. I am the Sachidananda, I am the Atman, I am the Brahman, or I am the consciousness. If it is true, then by being moral alone, I can be near to myself. If I am not moral, I cannot be. I will be away from the self. So, for example, if you see the history, Martin Heidegger gives this ontological ethics first time in the Western philosophy. His idea is we should first understand, or we must understand first what I am or being before we can decide how to act. So basically, he says that he uses the word Dasein, means human existence. So we should try to focus on human existence. Then we should think of the rules, regulations, and all. For example, one more, a philosopher called Emmanuel Levinas, he says that ethical responsibility is because relation to other beings. So as I said, sound society can only be on the ethics. That is the reason. So now Swamiji's unique contribution, and he's the one of the person who has told very beautifully, if you are ethical, you will be near to yourself. The first line, what he is saying, the rational West is earnestly bent upon seeking out the rationality, the raison d'etre of all its philosophy and ethics. And you will know well that ethics cannot be derived from the mere sanction of any personage, however great and divine he may have been. What does it mean? Because Quran says, so you should do. Bible says you should do. Veda says you should do. Ramayana says you should do. ABC person is a prophet or maybe our leader or XYZ. On authority they are saying, I am, so I should be ethical. No. That is what the religion is trying to tell us, is trying to teach us, but that should not be the standard one. That's what Swamiji is telling them. When you are ethical and when you are rational and etc., you might not believe. Now Vedas say so. When I say I don't believe in Vedas, why should I listen to you, my dear? Why should I follow this? That's what the people say. For example, killing people, whichever religion you may belong to, killing people is bad, I say, but Islam fellow says that no, my scripture says that if you don't accept our religion, by killing you, I will go to heaven. See, this is what happens when the ethics and morality based on the individual people or individual books. Now, Swamiji is telling, he is not undermining that, he is not saying that we should not do, but rather he is telling that the limitation of these problems, the limitation of the ethics based upon the scriptures, based upon the personalities. He is only showing us the limitation of it. And afterwards he is speaking that the infinite oneness of the soul is the eternal sanction of all morality, that you and I are not only brothers. Every literature voicing man's struggle towards freedom has preached that for you, but that you and I are really one. Now I am cheating X. I am cheating a person called X. That means what? I am cheating myself. Because when we say that we are all one, that self, then where is the question of cheating? The cheating should not come actually. So if I am moral and if I am ethical, I am near to myself. If I am not moral and ethical, I am away from myself. Universal oneness of all beings based on that Swamiji is telling. Fine, but how to understand this? Because when I am saying I am one, there's only one thing called Atman and we are all that, then how can I cheat anyone? For example, by cheating my family person, I'm cheating my family. And when I am part of my family, so I have also been getting cheated there. So this is what Swamiji is trying to tell. So this is one of the wonderful, very important and very contribution of Swamiji. One of the important contribution of the Swamiji to the world and to the philosophy and to the ethics and morality, ontological aspect of ethics. And Swami Bhajananji has written a beautiful book on this actually. Recently it has come out also. If someone of you are interested, you can purchase the book and you can read. Swamiji has discussed all these things. So this is ontological part of the ethics. So why should I be moral and ethical? Because by being moral, then only I can be nearer to self. If you are a devotee, you can say that you are nearer to God. If you are rational and if you are a Gnana Yogi, you now don't believe in God religion, then Swamiji is saying that because by being moral, ethical, then only you can be nearer to yourself. That is the self. Otherwise, you are going away from the self. So it is not that because based on the scriptures, it is not based on the books, it is not based on the rules, it is not based on the person. Rather, it is based on your inherent nature. No one can deny it. Because if he has to deny it, then he has to deny himself. This is the beauty of the ontological part of the ethics. I hope you are able to catch me, or you are able to understand me, or it is going above the head, I do not know. Could you make it? Could you make out it? Could you make out what I was trying to understand? Trying to speak. The ontological part of the ethics, or ontological philosophy of the ethics.
Yes, because only through ethics we can realize our true nature.
Yeah, because I am self, I have to be ethical. By being ethical, I can reach myself. That's the one thing. And because I am self, I have to be ethical. Both are. I am self, so I have to be ethical. And if I am ethical, I can reach myself. I can reach myself means what? The ignorance can be removed, and the wrong understanding can be removed from the sadhaka point of view. That's what Swami is telling. Because I am self, I have to be ethical. There is no other way. And also we can see very clearly, if you are ethical and moral, you will be nearer to God. You may do sahasranama, you may do worship, you may do pilgrimages, you may do any austerities. If you are not ethical and moral, then you might get some punya, but you can't be really near to the God. And you don't do anything. You might lead simple life. You might remember just God once with a devotion, but still if you are ethical and moral, probably God loves them more than the other person.
Whereas if somebody is totally unethical and just by chanting Sahasranam, will he actually getting any punya?
He might get some punya, that's all. But he will not be nearer to the God, no way. He might get some punya because he's taken the Lord's name and is gone repeating for a long time. He might get some punya, no doubt, because the karma has to give its phala, isn't it? So, for example, you can see here very clearly this in the demon's nature. Now, for example, Shumbha, Nishumbha, or Shumbha, he did a great tapas and he got the blessings. What is that? Shumbha and Nishumbha, they did a long tapas for long years, and he got then Brahma appeared. This is a routine story with most of the demons. So Brahma appeared. Then Brahma asked, "Oh my dear, I am pleased by your tapas. What do you want?" Then, as usual, "I want to be immortal." They use in a different sentences, different ways of expression. So Shumbha and Nishumbha, they are brothers. They said, we should not be killed by anyone. Means including you, including Harihara, Brahma, Ishvara, anyone, including anyone, basically. Then Brahma then thought it is not possible. So then Brahma thought, and including women also, because some demons were killed by women, like Chandi or Chamundi, you can say, or Parvati, Gauri, or whatever you can take. So they were also saying that by any other even not even by women also. Then Brahma put a clause. Okay, all right. You will not be killed by anyone, including the woman, but who are present now. Means after some time, after the boom, if a woman takes birth, a child takes birth in the form of a girl, that girl can kill you. So that's how they put a, like you can say, bug. We say bug in the IT language today. So that's how Brahma kept a bug. So now Hiranyakshar, Hiranyakashipu, he took all the permutation combinations. I should not be killed during daytime, not night time, not morning, not evening, not by humans, not by animals, not by devatas, not by demons, not inside the house, not outside the house or palace. That's where you see Narasimha Avtara came. Narasimha is not completely man, not completely animal. And he killed in such a time, neither it was evening, nor it was day, nor it was noon, it was a Sati Samay. It was like just the day was shifting and it was an evening, dusk time, evening time. So when he was getting killed, he says, "Oh Brahma, so boom has been falsified." Then there will be a Sharidavani. You said, "What is your daytime now?" You said, "Nighttime." You said, "No. Now it is neither day nor night." First point has been clicked. I mean, ticked box. You said it is neither inside the house nor outside the house. So now on the what's it, doorstep, you have been killed. Neither you are inside the house nor outside the house. You are in between the house. Second point. Third, you said neither human being nor animal nor demon. Now Narsimha is neither human being nor the animal nor the demon. Is a 50-50. 50% of the human being and 50% of the animal. Narsimha will. So then Brahma said, all your boons have been fulfilled, my dear. So then Hiranyakashipu was speechless and he was killed. So that's how, see, he was such intelligent and he did tapas for a long time. That's the reason Brahma appeared and his desires were fulfilled, his prayers were answered, but again, he took a wrong path. So, by willpower, if I do every day Vishnu Sahasranama, for example, I am cheating people. I am doing wrong things, but every day I am doing very sincerely Vishnu Sahasranama. Will I get some punya? Yes, I will get it. Why? Because karma has to give its phala. Very clearly, if you see in the Rakshasas, very clearly we can see this. Otherwise, then they were the most unethical and immoral people. They should not have seen God. They saw the God. Brahma may be, Vishnu may be, Maheshwara may be, or any other God. Physically they saw. And not only that, their prayers were answered. Isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. When When I was in America, I heard once the complaint made that I was preaching too much of Advaita and too little of dualism. Hey, I know what grandeur, what ocean of love, what infinite aesthetic blessings and joy there are in the dualistic love theories of worship and religion. I know it all, but this is not the time with us to weep even in joy. We have had weeping enough. No more is this the time for us to become soft. This softness has been with us till we have become like masses of cotton and are dead. What our country now wants are muscles of iron and nerves of steel, gigantic wills which nothing can resist, which can penetrate into the mysteries and the secrets of the universe, and will accomplish their purpose in any fashion, even if it meant going down to the bottom of the ocean and meeting death face to face. That is what we may want, and that can only be created, established, and strengthened by understanding and realizing the ideal of the Advaita, that ideal of the oneness of all. Faith, faith, faith in ourselves, faith in God. This is the secret of greatness. If you have faith in all the 330 million of your mythological gods, and in all the gods which foreigners have now and again introduced into your midst, and still have no faith in yourselves, there is no salvation for you. Have faith in yourselves and stand up on that faith and be strong. That is what we need. Why is it that we 330 million of people have been ruled for the last 1000 years by any and every handful of foreigners who chose to walk over our prostrate bodies? Because they had faith in themselves and we had not. What did I learn in the West, and what did I see behind those frothy sayings of the Christian sects repeating that man was a fallen and hopelessly fallen sinner? There I saw that inside the national hearts of both Europe and America reside the tremendous power of the man's faith in themselves. An English boy will tell you, I am an Englishman and I can do anything. The American boy will tell you the same thing. and so will every European boy. Can our boys say the same thing here? No, nor even the boy's father. We have lost faith in ourselves. Therefore, to preach the Advaita aspect of the Vedanta is necessary to rouse up the hearts of men to show them the glory of their souls. It is therefore that I preach this Advaita, and I do so not as a sectarian but upon universal and widely acceptable grounds.
Yeah,
So here Swamiji is telling about Atma Shraddha. That is the
yes.
it means in one word, in one line.
Thank you. Finally, you have come. Yeah.
Yes, my self belief and inner power, inner strength.
Mm, mm. Yeah. This needs little time to discuss. It's a quite important and very interesting, which can be a panacea to for many of our problems. So probably let us take, because I mean in 5 minutes someone is expected here.
Okay.
So I think we will try to discuss in the next class.
It says Aham Brahmasmi.
Yeah, more than that, as she said, that faith in oneself, faith in that I am the self is what the panacea to all our problems.
So then when will be the next class? Before your
Yeah.
India visit?
So, yeah, the most next week we can do, and that's it. Afterwards, then in January only. If it is okay, then we can do next week.
5th November?
Yeah.
Yes, it is okay for
Yes, ma'am.
me.
Fifth is sixth.
No, 6th
Fifth
is,
is,
5th is
fifth is
Wednesday.
Sunday. Fifth is a Sunday.
5th November, Wednesday.
No, I'm sorry, I'm seeing October.
Yeah. So fifth next week we can do. Yeah, at least only 2 pages. Oh my God, only 2 pages we discussed.
Yes, but because this lecture is an important one, no other. So better to
Yeah.
go like this for the Vedanta lecture.
Yeah. Like Gachan Pipilika Yati, there's a Sanskrit Subhashita. So it is like an ant going slowly, slowly, slowly. It is like ant go walking, we are going.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
So we will start from this paragraph only.
Yes, yes. All right. So now you have come to know how to understand Swami Vivekananda's teachings and try to read and understand. So same thing, you can yourselves, among yourselves or individually or in your group also, you can make this attempt. These lectures you can read yourselves, discuss individually and in group also and all. Then things may become much better. And when I say you'll be able to grasp more, and probably the time might come I did not to explain more.
Probably by
You
the
have to do
end
some
of
homework.
this book.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we have to do some homework, no doubt. We have to do some homeworks.
No, we have read this in the class together. And all of us are doing the homework, that also before the class. But we are not, still we are not able to write in one line.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, reading once is fine. I'm not saying, I'm not denying anyone. I mean, but it has to be read few times probably, or reading one para, you have to think. Maybe write 5 sentences, then can I reduce without missing out anything. Like that, one has to do little homework, I to say mental homework.
Maharaj, we are good in essay, not in gist.
Yeah, that's so. See, that is true. That's so because we were being told in our school days, can you write an essay for 5 marks? It has to be 2 pages, 4 pages. That has been practiced, no doubt. That's how our probably writing skills has been improved. That's why we are good at clerical works. But if you see our Indian authors, our Vedic Rishis or Upanishadic Rishis, really, they were able to tell. For example, the Upanishads or the Advaita Vedanta. Shankaracharya wrote the commentaries for the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and Brahma Sutra. That's the one thing. But as the story goes, oh Shankaracharya ji, we don't have time to read all that. Can you tell in just what did you write? In one sloka. One sloka means 2 lines. Can you tell? Shankaracharya said, yes. Why 2 lines? I will tell in half line. 1 line itself I will tell. What is that? Shlokardena pravakshami yaduktam grantha kotibhi. Shloka ardhena pravakshami. Why in one shloka, my dear, I will tell ardha means half shloka. Shloka ardhena pravakshami. I shall tell in the half shloka. Yet uktam grantha kotibhi, which narrates, which explains thousands of scriptures. What is that? Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Namara. This is the essence of Advaita Vedanta. So, I mean, our forefathers were good at writing in books after books. For example, Mahabharata, one of the biggest history book in the world, where it has got 100,000, 1 lakh shlokas. Ramayana, first history book, which has got 24,000 shlokas. This is the one side. The other side, they also gave in the formulas like sutras. In Brahma Sutra, you say, Athato Brahma Jignasa. Athato, for example, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Atha Yoga Shasanam, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What is yoga? What is Vritti? What is Nirodha? Then it comes 25-30 sutras. And for that, Vyasa writes commentary. For that, Vijnana Bhikshu writes sub-commentary. For that, Hariharananda writes sub-commentaries. And sub-commentaries. Then becomes a big book. But finally, if you see, just 500 sutras. Means our forefathers were able to give in a gist, and they were also able to write books after books, pages after pages. That both were there in our thing, and what you say, in our tradition earlier. It is all the intellectual gymnasium, no doubt. Actually, we think, oh, if someone asks me to speak 45 minutes, 1 hour, I can talk, but 10 minutes means I cannot speak actually. 10 minutes easy, 1 hour difficult, we think actually, but it is not so. 1 hour talking is much easier than speaking 10 minutes, strictly speaking. Because you have got a time, you can give all the explanations and all. But in 10 minutes, same thing, if you can tell, that is what our capacity comes, our understanding comes into picture. Athato Brahma Jignasa, I can explain in 1 hour, no doubt. But if can you tell same thing for 10 minutes, if you say, then that can be really challenging for us actually. It is all again thinking, and one has to systematically construct the ideas in our mind. That is what I am trying to make you to learn. So that then without me, you can keep yourself reading, understanding Swamiji's complete works or any other book for that matter. Yeah, okay. I have to leave now.
Pranam Maharaj, thank you.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste, Sai Baba.
Thank you.